Welcome to the Female Professionals Book Club today. My name is Ezine and I'm glad that you're here. The Female Professionals Book Club was founded in 2017, and what do we do as a group of women who love to read? We leverage technology to learn, to create fun, to read, and to inspire one another. 2 months back, we started reading this book, Becoming, by Michelle Obama. And it's a book that sold over 1.4 million copies the very week it was published. And today we hear that it sold over 12 million copies. It had so much on the inside of it, and we have enjoyed reading it. So today we'd like to share with you and discuss so that you can also learn from the things we are learning from the book. I have with me here today Alero, who will be leading the review. Alero is a medical doctor. Alero, you're welcome to today's session.
Thank you for having me, Cindy.
And I also have Ngozi, who will be joining in the conversation. Ngozi is a motivational speaker and also a writer.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I also have Sylvia. I call her SO. She led us in reviewing the first session of the book, Becoming Me. Today we are talking about Becoming Us. SO, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so ladies, good to have you here. You'll be flipping the pages. Now it's time to talk. So I'll hand over to Alero to lead us in the conversation today.
Thank you once again. So, ladies. Okay, so we have looked at Becoming Me. And then we're looking at Michelle becoming who she was, Michelle Robinson. But now we're moving to Becoming Us. So this is now the making of Michelle and Barack Obama. So when you read the book, what general ideas did you come up with?
I like the fact that she was very open, talking about her life. Yes, that for me was quite striking. It was considering that she had been a first lady, and then she could still open up like that. I liked it. I liked it.
So
I liked the fact that it really confirmed the type of person she is. She's a very open person and down to earth. It was like she was having a conversation, just as we're having a conversation right now. She was like having a conversation with her girls and telling me that this happened to me. I took away from it the need to start a journal, at least to put down ideas, because I think that's how she got some of the things that happened to her. She always had a journal, but I do have a good memory of things that happened to me.
okay, so you don't need the journal.
Well, I do need it. I still need it.
Okay, isn't it?
I like the simplicity of the book, and I like the way the book connects with me. It doesn't seem like something's too high up there, being a former first lady. I practically felt like I'm in the same room with her, sitting down, and we're just having a chit chat, and I really connected a lot with the book. And for me too, a journey has begun because things I didn't quite take note of. I was quite surprised she could remember things that happened when she was in primary school, elementary school. So it's made me cast a reflective look on my life. And thankfully, the activities SO led us to do in the group, talk about things that happened in your childhood, the games you played, the books you read. I'm really connecting in a way that I like. And I know my story will be beautiful.
Okay, so going forward, at least we need to know that because we can turn out to be anything in life, let's be intentional about those things so we can start to, like Eso said, journal. If you have a wonderful memory like Eso, maybe you don't have to, but please, no, it's true. Some people can sit down and tell you things that happened and you'll be amazed, but you can at least try to take pictures, because when you say that, oh, this was the color of my father's car, then a picture will just speak 1,000 words like that. Okay, so let's dive into the book. We'll be discussing chapters 13 and 14 now. Okay? Public allies. She talked a lot about it. It was the job she took as she was leaving the law firm. And for her, let me read some of her quotes. She said specifically that their aim was to get people, not necessarily Ivy League graduates, but people that had specific talent, could be trained, and then they could release them to the public system. But what do you think that says about us in our nation, for instance? Do we have people going out to specifically pick people? Oh, I know that A is good with this. if he has an opportunity to learn about this, he might turn out better, and then ensure that those people get into political spaces or get into offices where they can use those talents. So, what do you think about that?
Well, I think we don't have much of that. We don't have much organizations that are committed to helping young people. Because she talked about that these young people are talented, but probably because of their background, they might not be able to have opportunities like those who went to Ivy League schools. So they were just the target and then to get them into the public system. But in our country today, I don't think it's happening. I wish we'd really look into that because that would help to solve a lot of the youth restiveness we see. If we can get these ones who are talented, who really want to make something good out of their lives, and then give them the training they require, and then put them where they'll be busy.
It'll be busy. Okay. So she said something about the mandate for public allies was finding it, nurturing it, putting it to use. That was the mandate they went out with. Do we do that here?
Well, I would beg to disagree with you, because we do have something similar. We have the National Youth Service Corps, which actually, I think because of today, the number of people applying for it, but that originally had a purpose. And one of the purposes it had was to bring about unity in this country. Immediately after the Civil War, and it was set up. And then you were sent to places that you would generally not have gone if you grew up in Ibadan. You would probably not have gone to Katsina or know that where Katsina Ala is. Now, that sending you there, you now get to work with people, you get to see other realities of the country, and that helped our national level. Maybe we need to be tweaking it and maybe add other things to it. In terms of going out and finding other people, I do think that there are things there that can be done. But what Public Ally caught my attention was a question of equity. Those who founded Public Ally, they could work on that kind of work, give up good salaries and give up good money, which Michelle could not because she still had to pay her student loans. So that what it brought to my mind, I'm sorry it had to, because a lot is going on right now in the world. Yeah. But the issue of equity for people of black descent has to be, it was put up in the underline that we come to the world, we don't have, maybe here not, we don't have that kind of financial backing that allows us to pursue our passion. So I have to be grinding at a law firm, doing what I really don't want because the pay is good. But when I really would want to be teaching in a public school. So that is what I would want us to think about. And maybe people, if that was there, if people had some basic or some small amount of money somewhere, then you will see more people saying, I'm going to invest in something like Public Allies. There have been quite a bit of programs. There has been the Nigerian Leadership Initiative, which does look for leaders in different aspects of the country, and trains them and teaches them to look at leadership. But I think there should be focus on leadership in the public service and having people who would really want to work in public service, as the word says, a public servant, not servant of the public. It's a completely different thing. So that's what is needed. So if we had a public ally, maybe our public service would be different.
Okay. Well, when you talked about the NYSC, that was not the picture I had in mind. It was just you were going to go and serve your country.
Fatherland.
Yes, to serve your fatherland. It wasn't about them nurturing whatever talent I had. I graduated as a doctor. Wherever I'm going to go and serve as a doctor. I graduate as a teacher, or I graduate maybe with an engineering degree. You send me to go and teach technology or teach physics. That's what we have done. But like you said, I think it's really a platform that can be harnessed. And we can do something like this so that we can really, truly encourage people. Because we go into the high institutions and we read whatever degrees we come up with. But that might not be our passion. So maybe we can I don't know, isn't it? What do you think? We can reform the NYS in such a way that you'll be going out to do what you're passionate about. What do you think?
Yeah. I think a lot has to go into consideration when it comes to our diversity. And I also think it gets to a point where fulfilling your purpose or your passion takes precedence over your profession or the professional career path you have set for yourself. So it depends on what the government wants to achieve with the NYSC currently. Then it may have been set up for this reason, for that reason, but times are changing. Things are no more the same. We need to evaluate. Is it still aiming, and is it shooting, and is it hitting? Is it targeted? If not, what more can we do with it? I think there are issues with the number of graduates turning out, the facilities available. Beyond, above and beyond that, there could be other means that this can still be achieved. As a professional woman, if I want to bring it nearer home, I have younger people I work with. I even have my peers I work with. How can I do a form of informal mentoring or coaching, or if you just one-to-one discussion like this to see how one can redirect his or her mind towards other areas of his or her life that the person can develop. I know one thing we don't quite do well here is community service. Like I know people that live in developed countries, they do a lot of community service. At that point, you have to go and put in a lot. It's something we should be looking at. There is so much to be done. There are quite some initiatives here and there helping out people with all sorts of programs, reforms, but we could do more. And if you are a career person, 9 to 5, you are stuck somewhere, you can't go on the road, you can't join some teams or mission teams in your very environment where you work in an office, I think there are things you can deliberately or intentionally offer to people around you with the mind of helping people build their capacity so that together we can change our community and groom the public allies we've been talking about.
Okay, ours might not be public allies, but
Okay.
whatever
works for us
the
here.
most important.
It's actually a non-profit organization.
Yeah.
And something that struck me about it, Michelle was willing to take a pay cut because the work she was doing there was actually what she has always wanted to do all her life, reaching out to people. And then because the management of the non-profit also saw that this woman would help us deliver, they were willing to go and source for fund.
To be able to pay her.
And at the end of the day, a lot of people were willing to be part of that organization because they saw that the mission statement was good. And this is going to add value to lives. So I'd say that when people want to start businesses, they should have a mission, clear-cut mission statement. You'd use that to attract the right kind of talent to work with you and to also get people to get involved in terms of funding. But we really need more of such that is just cut out to help people. And we know that, okay, at the end of this work, this is the result we are expecting. Not like something that's just too general.
But I know another thing she mentioned, she talked about, they went into the community per se. It wasn't like, okay, we're waiting for graduates to even turn out. We went into the community to scout for people. And then we would train them. Okay, I heard that you are very good with this particular skill. We want to train you and then send you out into the community. Because like Esther was saying, some of them can't even afford to even go to we're not even talking about an Ivy League school, to even go to a university at all. So if we say, okay, we'll wait for you to come out with a good GP before we employ you. These ones were going in to go and even bring people out. And I'm sure they could be done. And then you can decide if you still think you want to pursue this career path, then you could go ahead.
I think we should also look at it from the context of where they are.
They
I mean, most of them were high school students. And part of the requirement for you to get into some universities in the US is to actually show that you've done some work for your community. So being a part of Public Allies and having it on your CV as
was
a high schooler would really put you up on the other side. But let's go back to our NYC. Yes, it is maybe you went and as a doctor you went to hospital or so. But if you look at the numbers, if we have an opportunity to look at the numbers, you will see that the majority of the people are concentrated in big cities. People are not going to the villages
Wow.
and to the rural areas.
Mhm.
So, and when they do go, it's like 4, 5, 6, and they do impact
Yes.
because there are many schools that's the only
Teacher.
teachers they're going to see. There are many hospitals that's the only doctor or the nurse they're going to see. There are people who have started different
Pet projects.
pet projects in their different communities. And if you look at those who win those competitions, it's those who stayed in rural areas that saw issues and were able to provide solutions. But many don't want to go. Many are family and so on. I don't want you here, I want you here, everybody wants to be in Lagos because we're thinking of the next after NYSC. Maybe what should be done is really not saying that you can have a say
A
on
choice.
where you want to
Go to.
or somebody saying, no, I got married, and then people go and bring different marriage certificates and so on because I don't want to serve. The point, really, and I also say, I think people should be taught what was the history of that, the founding of that. Because many don't know. Many don't know why the scheme was funded. We just don't even know. We're just going that NYSC is something you do after you graduate.
It's a continuation
so you can get
of-
a job.
So you can get a
Yeah.
job because you need the NYSC. And if you are
Certificate.
going for politics, you need the NYSC. The point is, there is a community. We have the community service every Thursday. And I know people who never showed up will just give the CLO things. I think there has to be a reorientation. But we also need to look at I'm a half cup, half full kind of person.
Okay.
Look at the good side of it. Many people who would never have married somebody from another tribe have married. So even if we say today that we want to break this country up, one of the questions you will ask, so where would
His wife go to?
Where
With the children.
Where would the children go? And some people left their places and went to set up in places that they would never have set up. I mean, I'm sure the Ibes would not have been living in it.
True.
Right? And I'm sure some Oyinlola will probably not be living in Kano. But that's because they've gone there, they've seen the culture, and they say, well, this
It's
is
not
fine.
a bad place.
It's not a bad place. It's not as bad as I see. But that was the vision that whoever found, or the one who founded it, had. That look, if you meet the other person on a one-on-one, we will look at each other differently. But because of the economic conditions,
And
things
perhaps
have
security.
changed. So maybe the point is like from within. It's not a bad program. It's one of the only
I
programs.
don't
There are
think
no
it's
other
bad.
countries have
Yes.
those such programs. Ghana has one, but you're supposed to teach after high school. You go and teach, and they send you anywhere else. But there is none like that for graduates who are supposed to serve. So we need to reevaluate. It's not a military program. There has to be a balance somewhere. And then you'll be able to see the beauty of it. And of course, then other people can come on, other public service and
So
other.
we have a platform, that's what we're saying. So we can actually start
Yes.
by doing something about the NYSC. Okay, so let's move on to other things. Barack declares his interest to run for public office. So we will end this session of viewing Becoming Us, and we will still be back. But while we're at it, I want you to think about you. What are the things you need to balance? What are your balancing acts? What are your challenges? What is politics to you? What is mothering to you? We are women, we are professionals, and we have to put all those things together.